Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's Unseen video. We have got so much. This is one of the most stacked Unseens. There's just so much news, so much reaction to Raw. Obviously, we had a stacked NXT. There's loads of announcements as well. Let's just get straight into it. So NXT started with Bayley. Metal Mama, thank you. Bayley came down. She was so excited to be on NXT. This is her first NXT match in, I genuinely don't know how long. She was in a tag match with Giulia, taking on Roxane and Cora. This is one of the shows I would not be surprised to find out CM Punk was at. I don't know that he was there, but we know he's got a good relationship with Cora and Roxane. This is a match I'm sure he would love to have been there for, and it delivered as well. It was really, really fun. You lot said it was great 59%, but Bayley's so excited to be back. You could see she was like a kid in a candy store, right? And of course, it was Bayley and Giulia that would emerge victorious. I felt like I saw a little glimpse from Bayley towards the championship. So obviously they were celebrating, but afterwards it sort of felt like Bayley had her eye on that NXT Women's Championship. That's not the direction I would be looking to go for Bayley. This is not a demotion or anything like that. I don't think she's down in NXT for like an extended period of time. I think she's just down in NXT just for a few weeks, just to help the ratings. And it's working. I mean, the NXT ratings recently have been absolutely fantastic. So really good open to the show. Then we found out that Vengeance Day is going to be on Saturday, February 15th, which is really nice. That's a nice period of time just after the Rumble. It gives us something to look forward to. So very excited for that. Then we had Oba on the Grayson Waller effect. This was really good. I wasn't sure what we were going to get from this segment because I just sort of felt like it might be Waller and Theory just insulting Oba, and it was just going to be a bit throwaway. But actually, there was a lot more to it than that. We actually had the crowd chanting for Austin Theory because he's from Atlanta, and so they were actually chanting Austin Theory, and he said, "Do you want me to talk?" And so he then started doing some talking because the crowd were demanding it. They were asking for it. There was another moment, which was a great moment, where the crowd were chanting, "Turn on Grayson." They were saying, "Turn on Grayson." Austin Theory actually stood up and turned his back on Grayson and was laughing about it. So he did turn on Grayson, just not in the way that the crowd were hoping for. And basically Oba was like, "I've had enough of your talking. Like, who wants to face me at Vengeance Day?" Like, Oba was ready to give one of them a match for the NXT Championship, pointing out the fact that neither had been NXT champion previously. Trick was watching backstage. He had seen enough. He went storming out there, really angry. Obviously, former champion, feels like he's at the front of the queue to get a title opportunity. He was not happy at seeing Oba just giving other people title shots. So he went out there, he dealt with Grayson, he dealt with Theory, and then he got powerbombed by Oba Femi. And that's how we went from this talk show segment into our next match, which was Trick Williams against Wes Lee. Bayley said, "Thank you, Hotlanta. Thank you, NXT." So that was kind of getting us towards the end of the first part of the show. As we said, we then went into Trick against Wes. Trick just snapped. It was a good little battle, this, but he snapped and ended up pushing the referee away, and as a result getting disqualified. So Wes would actually win that match. That loss seemed to result in Trick no longer being number one contender. That loss seemed to mean that he was no longer under consideration for the title match. So it's official. Oba Femi will defend the NXT Championship against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory at NXT Vengeance Day. Ava was really annoyed. She was like, "You don't make the matches. I do. And as a result, you're going to defend that belt against both of them, Grayson and Austin Theory. She then stormed into the men's locker room, didn't bother knocking, stormed in. A few of the guys were like, "Oh, Ava," you know. We were joking about that on stream, but she did storm in and she went up to Trick and she basically put him in his place. She was like, "What was that out there?" Right? Pushing the referee around. Like, not only have you just been disqualified, but you put your hands on the ref. And she pointed out, like, that's why you're not in the title match. She actually put him in a tag match. So it's going to be Oba and Trick against Grayson and Theory. If Trick and Oba win, will Trick be added to the match? Why would Oba want someone else to be added? So does that mean next week Trick's going to try to win? Maybe Oba's not going to be that bothered. I don't know. She didn't even say that if he won next week, he would be added. But I've got to think at least it would give him an argument to find his way into the match. It's all very messy. It's all very messy. I'd rather just do Oba versus Trick one-on-one. But we're seemingly not doing that or not ready for that. Perhaps that will be Stand and Deliver. Oba versus Trick one-on-one. Perhaps we're building towards that for more closer to WrestleMania. But at the moment, it is Oba against Grayson against Theory. Trick very frustrated on the outside of it all. Then we went to our next match. This was Shotzi against Fallon. This was for Fallon's North American Championship. Shotzi did a few times get her leg kind of smashed into the ring post. I thought she sold it really, really well. At this moment, the boulder said, "I'm crying." This moment is brilliant. I always gone to commercial. We'll never know. We'll never know. Whatever it is, she's always doing it. And at the moment, she's always winning because she would emerge victorious. Statement made. Not quite. But she did manage to retain her championship. Afterwards, Stephanie came out, and here we go. Another match has been made for Vengeance Day. This time, it's going to be Fallon against Stephanie for the Women's North American Championship. We also had this moment where Ridge was going off on Izzy Dame. She had cost him a match the other week. He was going off on her. Stacks came to her defense, and it seems like these two are on a collision course. Stacks, Ridge Holland. You don't talk to a lady like that. Backstage, it was announced that we're going to get Bayley versus Giulia versus Roxane at Vengeance Day. I don't know why. I made the comment during the stream, what has Giulia done to be punished like this? Like, if you're put in a triple threat, you're at a disadvantage as a champion because all of a sudden Bayley could pin Roxane and she could be champ and you would lose your belt. Giulia is the champ right now. I understand them doing it to Oba because Oba sort of stepped out of line. He was trying to make his own matches. I can understand him being like told off, if you will. Don't do that again, and as punishment, I'm going to put you in a triple threat. But Giulia hasn't done anything wrong. She's done nothing wrong. And now she finds herself in this absolutely hellacious match where she could absolutely lose the title. I do think some of this booking at times lacks a bit of common sense. But as you can see here, Fade is excited. And I'm sure a lot of NXT fans are excited. I'll tell you someone that's not excited. Cora Jade. She was actually pinned in that opening match, which is why I think she doesn't feature. It's the only reason why this isn't a fatal four-way, right? So she was very disappointed. So little bit of tension being teased between Roxane and Cora Jade, right? Killer Mike was in the crowds. Then we had Ethan Page against Cedric. It's fine. And Javon came down afterwards. Ethan getting the win. Javon came down. Definitely feels like these two are on a collision course, right? Then this is next week, so we know that we've got A-Town Down Under taking on Trick and Oba in a tag match. We just don't know if it means anything. There's going to be a summit that's going to have Roxane, it's going to have Giulia, it's going to have Bayley, so we've got that next week. Ridge and Stacks are going to take on each other. Makes sense. And there was a little backstage segment where Carmen and Kalani were arguing. And so that match has been made for next week as well. So Bayley finding out the news saying, thank you, Ava. So there we go. That triple threat, women's triple threat being made. This was crazy, right? Here, look at this. Cartwheel. Boom. Into a standing moonsault. Now, I know that you see a lot of people doing moves like that. Io, Bianca, Tiffany. I don't know that we've seen Lash Legend doing that. And she is on the taller side of the women's division. So for her to now start breaking that out, I thought was very impressive. So I thought that was great from Lash Legend. Cora, still upset at the news, said to Ava, unblock me now, and went looking for her, right? So what does Cora have in mind? I think she's going to try and find her way into that match, into that Bayley, Giulia, Roxane match. That could still become a fatal four-way. Is this a 3? Right? Big talking point here. Roll up 1, 2. The only thing I would say is you could make an argument there. Her shoulder looks up off the mat anyway, right? Crowd were not having it though, right? And it really felt like that could have been a 3. Really felt like it could have been a 3. So roll up here. 1, 2, 3. Probably would have been. Probably would have been. But I think there's probably enough doubts in there where her shoulder, is her shoulder really down at this point? It's going to be analysed and over-analysed because, honestly, this was just moments before the finish to our main event. The tag titles on the line. Bianca and Naomi against Lash and Jakara. People are asking the question, is this a 3? 1, 2, 3. It probably should have been, but I think you can counter it by saying that her shoulder looked pretty high there anyway. I think, like, for me, look, there seems to be a real gap between the mat and her shoulder. So I think if we are going to look at a replay, we could maybe make an argument her shoulders weren't properly down anyway. Crowd didn't like it, though. Crowd didn't like it. But moments later, Bianca and Naomi would go on to get the win. Then we had this. Metal Mama said, what was this? Because right at the end of the show, we get this. It says WWE transmission. It gets cancelled. Vengeance Day. I mean, it really felt like the end of the broadcast and we were seeing something we shouldn't really see. But when that happened, it all of a sudden felt more like it was the arrival of someone. This was the tease that something big is going to go down at this show. Some people wondering if it was Mustafa Ali. Some people wondering if it might be Josh Alexander. Some people wondering if it could be a TNA invasion, which I really don't mind. If we're going to do that, that could be really fun. Really fun. If we're going to do, and it's WrestleMania season, we could do a whole TNA NXT thing around this time. It's what people have been hoping for and asking for. So I don't know what this is. I've not seen any insider info. I mean, literally it only dropped about 30 minutes ago, so we're gonna have to wait and see, but very interesting. Apparently someone in the crowd had a Glow championship and Naomi was holding it up like she had it from the crowd, so as her Glow championship she used to have. So these two obviously keeping those tag titles. That was this week's NXT. Absolutely stacked, right? Check this out. Brandi Rhodes, after Sami hitting that haluva, Brandi is not buying it. And that's not even how you spell Sami. So if I'm Sami, I'm disappointed at that. But she's disappointed in that haluva. So, Kelly, thank you. It's Bryn again. Thank you. So, Zelina Vega said, I might have cried a little bit after this picture. It's bittersweet. You've taught me well, Rey, and I will forever be grateful and so honored. I'll be sure to rep you and the LWO over on SmackDown. Yeah, lots to talk about this. WrestleBuzz, shout out to you. I wasn't sure when I first saw this if it was official WWE or if someone had, you know, decided they were just going to upload the shows themselves and this channel would end up getting torn down, right? I didn't know if someone had just gone rogue. But actually, no, WWE have come out and claimed ownership of this. So I don't think they're calling it the NXT Vault. I don't think it's got that name, but yeah, that's what it is. It's all old episodes of NXT, old takeovers, all going up on YouTube. So that, last time I checked, was coming up to 8,000 subscribers. Probably well over that now. But yeah, this all drop in today and official WWE as well. So definitely worth a follow. Don't know if they're going to be uploading little house show clips and little unseen footage and stuff, or if it's literally just going to be the full episodes and takeovers. It could just be that, because that's all that's gone up at the moment. Full episodes and full like takeover bits. But I don't know if we'll get round to behind the scenes stuff. It'd be really good if we could see some of that training footage of them being taught things, you know. I'm sure that footage exists, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But be aware of that. Right, Apollo Crews reportedly suffered an injury, right? It says here, if you watch the show, Johnny gives him a backcracker against the ropes. He went down and he's never quite the same after during the match. Apparently, he has suffered some sort of injury, but details are a bit scarce at this time. I believe that's coming from Wrestling Observer Radio, so God, everyone's getting injured. Obviously, the big news was JD McDonagh. I don't know if people have seen the video I dropped earlier. I was here doing some work when JD actually tweeted, and he said that he had cracked ribs and a punctured lung, and he's going to be out for a few months. So we did get an update with JD. I've not bothered including it in here because obviously we did a whole separate video for it. If you've not seen it, check it out. And that was hours and hours and hours and hours and hours ago. That news came through a few hours after the last unseen, right? Okay, Sean Ross Sapp said NXT are going to host an event in Cincinnati at the venue that AEW just ran a few weeks ago. So tickets go on sale on January 31st. And this is going to be on February 25th at the Andrew J. Brady Music Center. So there we go. They're going to be back on the road again. I do love the fact that NXT is going to all these different buildings now. It's very cool. Right, we've got the odds, Wrestle Night, thank you. We've got the odds for the Men's Rumble at the moment. There are 3 big favourites, and then everyone else is quite far back. So the 3 are, number 1, John Cena. He's plus 100, right? Then we've got Seth Rollins, plus 125. And then at 3 is CM Punk, plus 150. And then really everyone else is, you know, a bit further back than that. So it feels like the Bet Online bookies have really made those 3 as the 3 that you really need to pay attention to. John Cena, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Those are the 3 you need to pay attention to, with John Cena currently being the favourite, right? This is interesting, considering he's a babyface, or at least we believe he's a babyface, right? OTC, you know, touching the fans' hands now, seemingly getting along better with people, not making them acknowledge him anymore. So these are interesting comments from Roman.
Although I don't know if I'm really vibing with what Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are putting down these days.
I think they're doing great. I think they finally, made the right choice, and they're being responsible and they're taking ownership. You know what I mean? Right. So good for them.
Although I don't know if.
So he is believing and buying what Xavier and Kofi are doing at the moment. Think of the heat they're getting. But Roman is on board with it. Very surprising answer. Austin, shout out to you. So Nikki Cross tweeted this out. This is her atop a ladder. Don't really know what this is signifying, to be honest. I've not seen any theories on it either, actually. She tweeted this out hours ago. I'm just going to say what I always say. When it comes to their personal accounts, they can put out really whatever they want. So when it comes to the personal accounts, just take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. I don't know this needs to be read into too much. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we'll have to wait. And I don't think this is saying she's going to get involved in Cody and Kevin or anything like that, right? So we're going to have to wait and see. But there we go. Nikki Cross tweeting 13 hours ago. Joe Gacy as well tweeted 12 hours ago. I think this is from the video game. I don't believe that's from the video game. I think that's a picture of just her. But I believe that is from 2K25. We do have a 2K25 folder. We're going to get to that in a second. We've got so much stuff. So that was Joe Gacy 12 hours ago. Christopher, shout out to you. So WWE signing Jordynne Grace is expected to be in Indianapolis for this weekend's Royal Rumble. The belief is she will be appearing in the match itself. So the belief is that we should be seeing Jordynne Grace in the Rumble. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. This is the referee, right? So this is the ref from the JD McDonagh match. And this is what he had to say. So Sean Bennett, the referee, said, "Last night, I looked directly into the eyes of a man that wouldn't stop for nothing. The pain, fire, and fight were all raging inside him. Then he got up and did this." Unreal. Love to JD McDonagh. I look forward to when he returns with the pure passion he brings to work every day. And it's true, innit? I think it's blown everyone's mind. It blew my mind. The match carried on after he broke his ribs and punctured a lung. And he did that after. He did that after. It's incredible. His stock has to have gone through the roof after what went down. It has to. It has to. That what he did has to mean something going forwards. I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible. It's a lot like when Cody did his peck and then still had the match with CM Punk. For me, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. The only difference is it didn't happen at a PLE and it wasn't in a high-profile match. Like, I know it was a tag title match, but it wasn't like the same level as when Cody did it. But actually, it's... In fact, I'd say it's even more impressive because I think Cody was told, it's as bad as it'll be. You can't make it any worse. It's going to hurt, but you can't do any more damage. Whereas JD had broken ribs, was puncturing his lung, and he could have done more damage. As someone in our watch-along said, maybe he broke his ribs, but the punctured lung happened because he carried on. Perhaps he didn't even have a punctured lung at that point. He should have stopped, to be honest. He should have stopped. He should have stopped. But he didn't. And now we all know the fight and the heart that he has. They've got to make that mean something. Kian, shout out to you. Roman Reigns says that Cody Rhodes has never been more relevant than when he was involved with the Bloodline. Cody is a great champ. He beat me, so he's got to be, right? But he was never more relevant than when he was in my circle, on my island. So, little diss, if you will. This coming from WrestleVotes. Sources tell us that WWE is set to announce a PLE titled Clash in Paris, scheduled for Sunday, August 31st. An announcement is said to be imminent. It could be any day. That dropped in an hour ago from WrestleVotes. And not only that, people have started to find the logo. WrestleBuzz tagged me in this. And apparently, if you search Clash in Paris, there is an article that is showing on WWE.com that doesn't seem to have quite been published yet or something, but you can see this logo. So it seems like the announcement is literally on the way any second. It might have even been announced. But this is coming. Clash in Paris, August 31st. So we're going back to France. And it's going to be for Clash in Paris. The name's okay. It's not my favorite name. Clash at the Castle was pretty fun. Clash in Paris. It's okay. It's okay. I'm really excited to go back to France, though. Brilliant crowds. Brandon Thurston said Raw's premiere episode on Netflix had about 2 times the audience in the US as it did on cable. It's hard to estimate, but there's reasons to believe that Raw is settling into a range where it's delivering similar viewership on NXT in the US as it was on the USA Network. Analysis here. So it says Raw ranks 7th globally for the week. It ranked number 4 globally for the first 2 episodes. So it does seem like the ratings are falling. That was always going to happen. Where's it going to settle? The belief from Brandon Thurston is that it's going to settle at a point very similar to what we were seeing on USA Network. Are they going to be disappointed with that? Maybe. I feel like there are things they can still do, though. I feel like there are ways that you can still boost those numbers. So, yeah, I'm sure they're keeping very, very close eyes on this situation. So, really good opening episodes. We've started to see a decline. Always going to happen. Where does it level out, though? Where does it flatline? Brandon Thurston thinks it's going to be somewhere similar to when it was on USA Network. Right, according to Dr. Chris Featherstone, WWE plans a big road to WrestleMania for Penta. WWE has got major plans for Penta on the road to WrestleMania, starting with an impressive performance in the Royal Rumble. So there we go. We're going to get an impressive Penta Rumble performance. I don't think that's a great surprise, to be honest. I don't think that's a great surprise. Right, let's go into WWE 2K. I don't want to spend long in here, to be honest with you, because I personally don't really care about WWE 2K. It doesn't do anything for me, but I know there's people out there that do care. But my thought process is, if you do care, there are so many channels for you to get this news from. I don't think we need to spend long on it, right? So, WWE 2K, this is SmackDown Hotel. They have got like a list of bits you need to know. So, it comes out on March 14th. If you get Deadman or Bloodline Edition, you get it a week earlier. These are the platforms that it's going to be on. It's not on Switch, so it's on PS5. I hope it's going to be on Switch 2 eventually. When they bring out Switch 2, imagine if it's still like watered down versions. I believe the wrestling games on Switch were always like watered down. They didn't have absolutely everything that the PS4 version had or the PS5 version. So I hope Switch 2 fixes that. We spoke about the roster yesterday, right? We really did go through everyone that's been announced so far. Roman, Undertaker, Bloodline are the cover stars, as we know, and we know that the Wyatt Sicks are the pre-order bonus. There are new match types. Bloodline rules, chain wrestling returns, underground match, and you can dive off the barricades. Also, intergender matches have come back in. That's the first since SmackDown Raw 2009. Apparently, intergender matches haven't been able to do since 2009. Bloodline Showcase is the showcase. It's hosted by the Wise Man. This is what I'm most interested in. The Island. So an interactive world made up of a series of areas built around different WWE themes. The Island offers players the opportunity to explore and challenge other players whilst vying to earn a WWE contract by impressing the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, by completing quests, taking on challenges, competing in live events, earning unlockables, and upgrading and customizing my superstars through multiple storyline chapters. The island allows players to step outside the ropes and rule beyond the ring. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Are you intrigued by it? I would like to know a bit more about it. To be honest with you, it sounds like a big commitment. I'm reading that and it doesn't sound fun. Like, you've got to do live events, you've got to do challenges, you've got to do quests, you've got to do unlockables, you've got to upgrade. It sounds like a load of work. Sounds like loads of work. So, yeah, I don't need another job. But there's something different, you know, I'll give them that. We've got My GM online multiple player now. You can do it with up to 4 players. Other game modes: My Faction, My Rise, Universe, Creation Suite. These are the updates, new Brawl environments, NXT Parking Lot, WWE Archives, like the warehouse. That would be fun. Third-person camera support. You can jump off barricades. There's chain wrestling. And that's pretty much everything. So those are kind of like the key points that you need to be aware of when it comes to the new 2K25. It tells you here what each version has got. So the best version is the Bloodline one. You get everything. You get to play on March 7th, right? Same with the Deadman one, March 7th. But it doesn't have all of the download stuff. It doesn't get like Backstage Pass and I don't know, some other bits, some other, whatever all this is. This is the one that gets very little, and you have to wait a week. That's just the standard version of the game. So if you want everything, get the Bloodline one, yeah? If you want the next best, get the Deadman one. Both of them you can play March 7th. If you want the standard one, you've got to wait till March 14th, and you miss out on all that kind of season pass, DLC. You have to pay extra for all of that. So that's why it doesn't come with much. But that's how they've kind of separated it. So that's that. As Kojiko says, money, money. Destin, thank you. Cal, shout out to you. First look at the Wyatt Sicks, of course. Joe Gacy tweeting that out earlier. Wolf, shout out to you. Lola Vice. First time I believe she's in the game. So there's Lola Vice, and you can identify her by comparing it to the image. So we don't get to look at her face, unfortunately, but there we go. There we go. Here, TJF behind the scenes of the cover shoot for 2K25. TJF again said this is the underground mode. So there you go. You can see no ropes. And this is the underground. Tends to be used in NXT, doesn't it? The underground match. WWE 2K25 said, for those who are wondering what is included in the Ringside Pass, Season Pass, you get 5 of the DLC character packs and a supercharger. And you get, let's whoosh it over. A lot of this doesn't mean nothing to me. And you get Superstar Mega Boosts. Look, virtual currency. This is why I've no interest in the game. No interest in the game. I feel like it's lost its heart and its soul. I feel like that just completely puts me off. I'm out. Paying for like DLC character packs, which probably should just be in the game anyway. Just put it in the game. All this extra money they tried to make, just... I'm done. I'm not interested. So you get like boosts and superchargers and download packs and virtual currency, and you'll end up spending hundreds on the game, and then you'll have to do it again next year, and round it goes. So yeah, not for me. Not for me. Right, Cal, thank you. First look at the final boss, The Rock and the People's Championship in 2K25. Yeah, so we've got the cover. So status, just showing off the cover here. of the Bloodline edition, the best edition. It's got everything in it. And there's Sami. I like that Sami's in there. Sami's in the Bloodline. Sami Uso. He should be there. Been a massive part of the Bloodline story, right? Status said, "What's Bro doing here?" Sami Uso, you boomer. Do you not watch the show? And here's Drew. Drew's like, what the hell? A polar bear doing in Texas? So Drew is agreeing that he's a bit of an odd man out. But I think we long ago established he's a full-blown noose. Yeah. And then we got this. Stan Games, thank you. I don't know where this is from, but they're here. Do you see them? They are faces you can't trust. Uncle Howdy, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan. 6. Can't you hear the darkness? It's beautiful. They haunt the island. Howdy and Nikki Cross need to be seen. Get if you dare. I feel like whoever wrote that is really trying to do it in the Nightbird style, but it's not. That does not strike me as being written by Rob Fee or being written by... I feel like that's someone giving their best go at doing it, right? So there we go. That was 2K25. Hopefully, we never have to talk about it again. Right, let's go over to fun. Okay. We do have to talk about it again. So, Roman Reigns said, wherever I go, I will make sure my bloodline is with me, right? And Tama Tonga putting his hand up and also painting his nails, which I don't quite understand. So, I don't know. Is he wanting to get Roman's attention? What's this about? What's this tweet about? It's definitely got a lot of interest. What's that about? Don't know. This was really good. This was really fun. So here, let's take that down. So why do they have to put music on it? So here, look, you can see Cody signing, and then he does get Liberty to sign. And then what's cool is Brandi gets the pen and she signs it. So if you actually bought that, you had the whole Rhodes family. You were only Pharaoh missing. You only needed Pharaoh. So there we go. That's pretty fun. And then there is R-Truth, of course. Boom. Hieronymus Drake said, going through some old boxes, came across this. I have never seen this before, and I am so interested in it. So apparently, this came out in 1994, and it's a basic adventure game, right? It's all rules and everything, and I don't know quite what you do, but you have to, like, put down people's abilities and put down, like, fill it out. And so you fill it out, and I don't know if you draw it or if it's already there. And then it's got all these rules, and, like, you roll dice to figure out who wins the matches. And I don't get it. I don't understand, but this is the kind of thing that I could imagine, right, if ever I get chance to go on holiday and do nothing, right? Not like when I went to America and I was running around toy shops, but actually go to Spain and just lie there, right? I could imagine me having a bit of time where I sit down and I actually try to work this out and give it a go and actually, like, try and play it. That would be awesome. I have never, ever seen this before. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I don't know how you play it. I'm really intrigued by it. So, yeah, I thought this was brilliant. So, Hieronymus Drake, shout out to you, buds. I thought that was very, very interesting. Obviously, we saw this earlier, this heartfelt message. There's Kofi Kingston saying, good riddance. Good riddance. Ace just sharing his favourite part from a recent Unseen. And this was great. Yeah, this was a really fun moment. A lot of people saying that they really enjoyed this part of Unseen. And it was really good. Really good. I like the bit where the shirt kind of seems to, like, go through me. See that bit there where it just sort of went through me? That is my superpower, actually. I do have the ability to make clothes do that. It's probably the worst superpower you could ever have. So there we go. And also, whenever I do this, I turn really goofy in the face. Look at me. Thank you, Ace. Right, Ratchet the Out. I got tagged in this loads. So there's Sean with the title. And there's Kevin Owens giving it a kiss. The only thing I'd say is he is kissing the outsides. I'd be more worried for him if he was kissing the inside. I still wouldn't want to. We all know it's not the exact same belt as well, of course. But, fun little joke. Doing the rounds, right? So, there we go. That was fun. Let's go other. Oh, there was a few bits I just never got to. I'm going to have a look at these and see if they make it tomorrow. Although, loads of people tagged me in this, so we probably do need to look at this, actually. Oliver said AJ Lee was mentioned. What's this?
Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee.
Hang on.
AJ Lee, but do not tell Becky Lynch because she scares me.
AJ Lee versus Bianca Belair.
AJ Lee, but do not tell Bianca Belair because she also scares me.
Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee.
AJ Lee, but do not tell Becky Lynch because she scares me.
I don't really see much in that, to be honest. That is, they've also botched it as well. AJ Lee versus AJ Lee. What the hell's this? That's a Netflix thing, isn't it? I think Netflix are just, it's one of those, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen these, but they kind of get like legendary people like from basketball and boxing. So, you know, AJ Lee's a massive name from the past. So to me, that's not, I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't tease that she's coming back or anything like that. I'd love it if she did. But I don't know. There was a lot of people tagging me in this. A lot of people get excited when names just get mentioned, and I've never seen that connection. But anyway, right, well, at least we've done that. We don't need to worry about it tomorrow. Here we've got Charlotte sat down at hairdressers, seemingly getting a bit of a new look. So TJF, thank you. Interesting. Wrestle Night, thank you. So WrestleMania said whoever eliminates Roman wins the Rumble. So apparently either Roman has won it or he got eliminated by the winner. Now, I don't know if that's true of every Rumble since 2014. Obviously, there's been a lot he hasn't been in because he's been the champion. So maybe it is true. That would be a good bit of information to know, wouldn't it? Be a good bit of information to know if is that true of every Rumble that he's been in, or have you just cherry picked so that it looks like that's a fact? I don't know. I'm guessing this is every Rumble he's been in since 2014. So he's either won it or he's been eliminated by the person that would win it. Interesting. It's Kaz. Shout out to you. I made the point during the stream. I don't know what this is. I have had a lot of people saying, like, who's going to win this and all that. What is it? It's two people staring at each other and it says March 27th max. So what is it? There's no boxing gloves. There's no mention of boxing. There's no mention that they're fighting. They've both tweeted it out saying, you've been waiting for 10 years for this. But what is it? Hot dog eating contest? What is it? Are they going to race each other with cars? What is it? I don't know what it is. Is it a new game show? I have no idea. Right, as of right now, unless someone can tell me that there's been a statement put out, I don't believe this is a boxing match. They absolutely want you to think it's a boxing match, but why would you ever fall for anything they do? Like, it's gonna result, I'm sure, in not being a boxing match. It's gonna be something else. And then everyone's going to look silly that ran around predicting who's going to win a boxing match that was never going to happen anyway. So, again, if there is a press release out there that I've not seen, send it over. Because I've gone through all my notifications and I ain't seen nothing apart from this. And people reading in that we're going to do a boxing match when I can't see one being advertised anywhere. At Tea Time said, we were in the locker room at Raw a few years ago and they were showing us a video package on Dr. King that WWE planned to show right before the taping had started. After it was over, one of the guys goes, he didn't do anything for me. He did nothing for my people. Why do I care? Booker T stood up and started going off to the point where a bunch of wrestlers were almost kind of holding him back. Word must have gotten out because we were called to a meeting with Vince. He brought us into the locker room, showed the package again, and said, now, before I go, does anyone have anything to say? Booker stood up and said, yeah, man, I've got a problem with people making comments and acting like Dr. King didn't do nothing. Vince asked Booker if that person was in the room. Booker said yes. Vince asked Booker to point him out. He did. And that guy's push ended. It almost ruined his career. No word as to who that person is, and I think it's wise they don't say. But that was on Maven's YouTube channel. What a very, very interesting story. MLS, the football, Major League Soccer, they're apparently going to move in to WWE's headquarters to do production work. I don't know how big or quite on what scale. I don't know how many people are going to be involved, but that's bonkers, isn't it? Isn't that bonkers? WWE are going to have Major League Soccer doing work in their new headquarters. I didn't even know they had space. I didn't even know they had room to accommodate like some other people. But apparently Major League Soccer are going to use like the production facilities in the new headquarters. I don't think we've had a proper tour of the new headquarters. I don't think I've ever seen one. A proper look at everything they've got. I don't think I've ever seen one. So I'd love to see that and know what was kind of there. Right, community. We didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but we're doing it today. Casey, shout out to you. Got a repost from Lyra. Look at that. Lyra is excited for her 8th birthday party next month. It's going to be WWE themed. Congrats. Good choice. She's going as you. So we've got her a matching belt. First women's IC champ. Very good. Very, very good. So, Casey, little Lyra, many congrats. Emmanuel, look at that. Picking up a purchase for the Dead Man edition. $900. Oh, my God. And that's the Dead Man one? Bonkers. Emmanuel, shout out to you. Muggsy said, I found a Batista and a John Morrison at a local thrift store, but I didn't have the money. And when I went back, Kurt was there. I got them for $40. I would say they're a steal. So Muggsy, add in some boxed figures to the collection. So Muggsy, congrats. Thai Reactions as well has managed to pre-order, is this? The Deadman edition, that seems to be the one people are going for. Joshua, shout out to you. I said to Josh, come back to me when you've, because he had a couple. I was like, come back when you've managed to get them all, because I think people would like to see them. So we got Dexter Loomis cards. We got an Uncle Howdy cards. These, I think, are the Topps collectible slam cards. There is Joe Gacy. We've got an Uncle Howdy as well. I do think these are very addictive when it comes to opening the packs. I think they're very addictive. Be careful. I could see people spending a lot of money on these. Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan. So those are some of the Wyatt Sicks cards. I don't know if you can get them all in that style, or I don't know. Perhaps there's like a range in the Rumble, a range in that set. I don't know. There's going to be loads of different cards you can get. But those are the some of the Wyatt Sicks ones. Tea Time Danger, shout out to you, pre-ordering the Bloodline version. Jazza getting a like off Lindsay Dorado. Congrats. Thomas as well, getting one of these cards. People very excited by the return of the Slam cards. Rami Rascal, shout out to you, bud. Backstage, meeting Chelsea and Piper Niven. Very cool. This was last November on the UK tour. Very cool. Piper was an absolute sweetheart. Chelsea was there too, and she was an absolute sweetheart too, said Rami. Kelly said, just got all kinds of things happening. Got a message from Jason Baker and got a like from Chelsea Green. So I don't know what was originally written, but he said, I'm so delicate. I tore my rotator cuff opening a bag of potato chips. How am I going to stop a WWE superstar? So there we go. So Kelly, shout out to you. And then Dylan appeared to be in the house for what looks to be Saturday night's main event. So, Dylan, hope you had a great time, buds. Okay, let's go thanks, shall we? So, here, Princess Kutab Itch, thank you. Brown, 666, appreciate it. Milo, thank you, my friend. Wrestle Night, thank you. JDS Aviation Adventures, thank you, buds. King Yeet Newsletter, thank you. Robin, appreciate it. Jimmy, thank you. Wrestling's biggest fan, thank you. Tea Time Danger, thank you, bud. Sweet Chin Wrestling, thank you. It's Kaz81, thank you. Christopher, appreciate it. Lynette, thank you. Wild Child Billy, thank you. Raymond, thank you, buds. Manuel, thank you. Duke's Wrestling, thank you. Babs the Barbarian, thank you. J Omega, appreciate it. Emmanuel jumping in again. Metal Mama, thank you. Callum, appreciate it. Kelly the Wise Lady, and Real Wrestling Fan, really appreciate it. I don't know if we have a second thanks folder. No, I think that's everything. So a big thank you to everyone that tagged me in bits and bobs. As I said, there was some stuff I never got a chance to quite look at, but Oliver, thank you for tagging me in this. I had lots of people tagging me in that clip. As I said, I don't think it means anything, but still appreciate being tagged in it. We'll take a look at these potentially tomorrow, but that was today's Unseen. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. Longer episode than usual, but I know you do enjoy the longer episodes, so I'm sure there'll be no complaints. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.